Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and you and your families fared the storm well. So this week we're going to be going over Lab 1. And I know that it's not super ideal to have this remote. A lot of times SPSS runs into problems when you're working on a laptop. So if you can work on a desktop, I highly recommend that. I also recommend working on a Windows computer over a Mac. Today I'll be working on a Mac. So those who use Mac computers, maybe this will be helpful for you, but most of it is pretty transferable. But if you're feeling lost or confused, you are not alone. Please do not stress out. Feel free to reach out to me or Billy anytime this or next week for our office hours. I will be happy to answer any questions and walk you guys through some additional steps. This week's lab is pretty straightforward, but getting started with SPSS can be a little confusing at first. So again, don't feel overwhelmed and please reach out if you have any clarification questions or if you're feeling a little swamped. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first thing we want to do is go into Canvas and under lab exercises, we're going to find lab exercise 1 and go ahead and open that up. Feel free to download it or just keep it open on Canvas. If you're not working with multiple monitors, I would recommend pulling it up on your phone or another device because splitting screens with SPSS can be really difficult, and sometimes you won't be able to access some of the outputs. So anyway, as we have it pulled up here, we're going to go over to today's objectives. We're just going to become familiar with the basic features of SPSS, learn how to generate simple graphics, bar charts, frequency tables, become familiar with basic features of the output viewer, and learn how to copy SPSS results into a word processing program. So the data we're going to be using today is going to be demo.sav. So if we just want to go ahead and go back to the module page on Canvas, we'll scroll down to the lab datasets and go ahead and click on demo.sav and download it wherever you would like onto your personal computer. I already did this earlier, so I have mine saved here, and I recommend being pretty organized with your files. I like to save my data per lab. So this folder is titled Lab 1, and inside I have my demo.sav data. So once you have your data saved to a place that you can easily find it, we're going to open our web browser back up and type in my FSU V lab. Well, that's no good. Okay, well, usually you can just type in my FSUV lab, it'll come up on your search and just go ahead and click the first option. You'll find it pretty easily. So you can go ahead and log in with your FSU credentials and go ahead and click sign in. And of course, we're going to have to do the duo push. All right. So once we are in to the main page, we're going to click on apps. And then IMB SPSS Statistics 29 with the blue sigma. All right, there we go. Might take a little while to boot up. All right. So now that we've finally gotten in, this is what your screen should be looking like. Looks a little intimidating now, but it is gonna get a lot easier. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and load up that demo.sav data. So at the top of your screen, you're gonna have a little circular icon. Go ahead and click that. and click the upload button. For mine, it has an upload and download button, but sometimes it's the 3 buttons on the side. So go ahead and go through your files wherever you've locally saved your data and pull it into SPSS. After that, you're going to be prompted to save it within the program. So I usually choose my school account because most of the time you can access this from any device, including the lab computers. Sometimes there are technical difficulties with that, but this is where I would recommend you save it to. So go ahead and go into your documents or wherever you want to save it. I like to do documents because I always know where it is. And again, try to stay organized. I make a little folder and we're going to go ahead and put the demo.sav in there. All right, awesome. So now that it's uploaded to SPSS, we can go ahead and bring it in to our view. So let's go to File, Open, Data, and then you'll see I have my STAT Lab folder here, demo.sav, and open. All right. So once you have it loaded in, it should look like a bunch of numbers. Don't panic, totally fine. So now that we have everything up and ready to go, we can go ahead and reopen that Lab 1 packet and go through the click steps. So if you're following along on there, we're going to start with number 1 and do the graphic output. So to produce a bar chart, we're going to go to Graphs, Bar, Clustered, and click Define. So it's gonna open up a window that looks something like this, hopefully exactly like this, and make sure we have N number of cases highlighted. Then after that, we're going to fill the category access. So to do that, we click a point over here. And for this case, we're going to use marital status and move it into the category access. And if you want to move it back out, you can click that. So just click it once and move it into category access. So the second one we're going to do is the define clusters. And following along with the steps, we're going to do gender for that one. So once we have it highlighted, we just click that arrow button to move it in and keep it highlighted. All right, so double check, we have in, marital status, and gender. So after we have that done, following the steps, we're going to go to titles and change the title. So for this case, this says, let's just name it marital status. Gender. And click continue after that. Once you've done that, just double check again, and we're going to go ahead and click OK. Once we do so, we're going to have an output tab that looks something like this. Make it a little bigger for you guys. All right, perfect. So to change the appearance of the chart, you can double click on the chart. Ooh, oh gosh. It's going to open like a second viewer. And once you're there, you can click on different parts of the chart to edit them. And to continue with the steps, we're going to go ahead and just click the title. Oh, 1 second. If you end up exiting out, it might be behind your screen. So just click behind there and you should be able to find it again. So I'm going to double click that and click the title itself. And then we have the option for the fill, border, chart size, text style, text layout, variables, all of that good stuff. And under the text style, you can change, obviously, the type of font and the size. And then under the layout, we can change the justification and the alignment, make sure that your titles are centered and looking clean. We want to keep these charts as clean as possible. So, all right. So the next thing we're going to do is to change the colors of the bars. Now, on the step-by-step clicks, it says to click on the graph and open the editor. So I usually just click on the box, and that works best for me. But sometimes it works better for other people because sometimes it'll tell you to click on the column. And if you do that, you don't have the option to use the fill for whatever reason. So I recommend using these little boxes to change the color of the bars themselves. And following the click steps, it says we're going to change the female color to white with a black border. So let's double click female. We're going to change the fill. I don't think I have white on here, so we're going to do clear and the border will be black. That looks good. And we'll click apply and it should change it over here. Perfect. So now we've changed female to white with black outline. So let's go ahead and change male to black with black outline. Same thing, just change in the fill. Click apply and close. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so now that we've done that, you see that you can also change like patterns and fills and all that good stuff. Take some time to play around with this. But like I said, don't overcomplicate it. You know, a readable chart and a well understood chart is what we're going for here. So after we do that, we're going to go into the properties box in the bar options. So in the bar options, just again to go over what I just did, I just double clicked on one of the bars and then clicked bar options on the top. And as the steps say, we're going to change this to 73% and apply it to change the width of our bars. All right, that looks good to me. All right, so after you do this, we're going to export it into a Word document. So before I recorded this, I tried on my own and I could not get it to copy and paste on the Apple. This should be much easier if you're using a Windows computer, but please reach out to me and let me know if you can figure out how to do it on Mac. Maybe it's a user error issue, but I think you guys all know how to open a Word document and, you know, right click, copy and paste is pretty straightforward with this. It works really great on those lab desktops. So hopefully when we get back in, we'll have less problems, but we're gonna, you know, just right click and it should highlight it. Like I said, I haven't been able to do it on here. But if you can, please go ahead and copy and paste that into a Word document. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the second part of today's lab, which is tabular output. So we can go ahead and minimize and go back to our data table. And once we're looking there, we're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequencies. And in this part, you can move whatever variable you want to see over. We're just trying to make a nice little table. So let's do marital status and let's see. We'll do household income in thousands. All right. So once we have those moved over or whatever variables you'd like to use, we're just going to click OK. And our frequency table has been output. So once we have that done, we want to paste that into our Word document as well. So just go ahead and right click and we can copy that to a Word document. So that actually wraps up Lab 1. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to schedule an appointment with me, email me, and we can set up a meeting. I'd be happy to walk you through. Usually the first lab is the most difficult because you're just looking at something you've never seen before. So fret not, we'll get through this. All right, well, I hope you guys are all doing well and have a good long weekend. Bye.